Our professional dispositions. They are the mindsets, guidelines that shape our behavior, our thoughts, our actions, our standards regarding all of our relationships with students and administrators and their families. They are the building blocks needed by every school counselor that guides them to be the best counselor they need to be. They include our values, our commitments, our ethics, and they affect student learning and motivation. They also influence professional growth. I think it is important for a professional school counselor regarding the qualities and behaviors and values that are indicative of a professional school counselor. I think it is very important for a professional school counselor to have empathy, to have good communication skills, as well as be a good listener. They should be strong in their assessment skills. They should be organized and authoritative when needed. School counselors should always be implementing learning with counseling and educational theories. They should be aware of the laws and how the educational system operates. Legal and ethical principles should always be applied. They need to be aware of and always modeling the professional standards and competencies, the mindsets and behaviors that are from the ASCA. School counselors need to always be aware of students' backgrounds, their culture, and their environments because they influence regarding their success and opportunities. School counselors need to demonstrate leadership when developing and implementing a school counseling program. It is imperative for them to be an advocate for the school counseling program. And lastly, through the school counseling program, they need to create systematic change. So what standards guide my thinking and actions? I abide by a Christian lifestyle. Being a Christian first helps me as a person, helps me be a mom, helps me in every aspect of my life. To align my actions and my thoughts with the Word of God, I am trying to live right, loving my neighbors, modeling my life after Christ. There are standards. These are the standards that guide my life and my actions and my thinking. I am always trying to please God and honor Him. I feel that He helps me to be the person that He created me to be when I am obedient. He helps me with my jobs and my relationships, and I am very thankful. So what dispositions do I possess that will make me a successful school counselor? There are dispositions I currently possess. However, I'd like to add that even though I possess them, I'm always seeking to improve them and know I need more growth and training. Respect for diversity of others. I try to always be aware of students' backgrounds and cultures. I encourage acceptance and opportunities for students to share and for us to learn from them. I try to create a safe and loving environment when inappropriate behavior is immediately addressed and a new perspective is always encouraged. Next is fairness. I feel good about this disposition. I love the students in my school, and one of the reasons I chose to be a school counselor was that, and not a school psychologist, was the fact that I wanted to maintain my student relationships. I wanted to remain in their school, in their world, so I could continue to build on those relationships. I love to engage with the students outside of the classroom, and they know I will take the time needed to help them if needed. Having these relationships allows me to assess their learning without any bias. I feel confident that I can help guide them to help problem solve and face challenges. Professional conduct. I always dress professional and I am early to work. My principal knows that if she needs anything, she can call me. I am always respectful to everyone, and I try to encourage and be positive with everyone I meet. I strongly believe that all children can learn. I always try to act professional with students, colleagues, and families. I am also very careful when I am in the public and on social media. I I am continuing my education and I make sure to be present at every staff development day. I work hard to stay connected on laws and standards and up to date on all the changes. How do the dispositions demonstrate your ability to understand other cultures, genders, and learning differences to build stronger relationships with students and families? Dispositions help shape the mindsets to certain guidelines to help keep the focus on certain topics. The disposition on respect for diversity helps you by seeing different ways to approach diversity with students. They emphasize embracing diversity in all these things, using diversity to add perspective, inviting diversity of thought and practice from others, knowing the backgrounds and cultures of one's students. These are to name a few, but they do give you perspective so you are able to apply them and adjust as needed to personalize them. Dispositions help you to keep an open mind and help you to focus on the child's needs and success as your main goal. Having high expectations and treating all with fairness, having respect, being professional, reflecting, and being curious, being honest, being an advocate, and having compassion and dedication are the building blocks needed to reach each student and meet them where they are at so that you can help them be their very best. What dispositions do you need to work on before you enter the school as a first-year school counselor? To be honest, I need to work on all of my dispositions before I enter a school as a first-year school counselor. However, the ones that stand out to me that will need extra work and attention are first, high expectations. I feel that some of the areas of this disposition happens with effective teaching and being attentive. I feel I will need to work on communicating my expectations using a variety of methods. Monitoring and assessing in real time and changing practice almost as quickly will definitely need some work. Knowing my students and each one's strengths and weaknesses, their interests, and their abilities can always use more attention and improvement. Curiosity is the next disposition that I do struggle with now. It is very difficult to remember to ask and come up with those higher order questions. I am definitely weak here, and in my classroom now, I have to remind myself daily to do this. Advocacy is another disposition that needs growth on my part, and I foresee that in the future also. The reason why is if you need time to, you really do need the time to get to know your students and the building those relationships so that they feel comfortable enough to open up to you. Time is a huge factor, and it's a hurdle in allowing one to engage in conversations that go outside the classroom. Building these strong, positive relationships is the goal, but you have to have time so you can have growth. How do you anticipate using feedback from the annual performance evaluations, observations, and data on student performance to adjust your dispositions and teaching practices to benefit learning? I will take my evaluations and my observations seriously. I will also look at my scores and the areas that I score the lowest, and I will work harder to make improvements and suggestions, any suggestions. I know our principals can't give us fives across the board because they have to encourage those improvements. However, I will work harder to make sure I am performing at my highest and most professional level. The data collected on our students reveal a lot about their progress and our teaching. If a student's data reflects little to no improvement over a period of time, I need to reevaluate what I'm doing. Obviously, what I am doing is not working, and I need to find a different approach to reach that child. I am a strong believer in letting the data speak to you and then using that to make improvements in my teaching and my delivery. Reflection is critical to the professionalism and growth of a school counselor. Thank you.